Joining us today is Dereck Whittenburg. Dereck was a starting guard on Jim Valvano's 1983 NCAA basketball championship team at NC State. After a successful career at NC State University, the Phoenix Suns drafted him in the 1983 NBA draft. He later established a coaching career of his own. Dereck joined NC State University as the Director of Player Development in 2013. He was promoted in 2015 to Associate Athletics Director for Community Relations and Student Support. He also joined ESPN in 2010. His work includes the program Buzzer Beater and select games appearing on ESPNU. Dereck can also be heard on ESPN Radio. Dereck was recently made event chair of the V Foundation's 30th anniversary gala, which will be held June 3rd in Raleigh, North Carolina at Reynolds Coliseum. Dereck, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. This is a special time.
It is. 30th anniversary, 40th anniversary, of course, of the 1983 championship. It's a really exciting year. And since you're on the board of the gala, we'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Wow. This all started 40 years ago with this amazing run we had in 1983 with the late Jim Valvano. And then 10 years later, our coach was diagnosed with cancer and left us. But we also started the V Foundation. And what a 30-year ride we've had. And that's been a lot of fun. And now celebrating 30 years, we have a wonderful event in Raleigh, 30th anniversary at the James T. Arena at Reynolds Coliseum, June 3rd. So we're excited to celebrate all the wonderful work that our team, and I'd say our team, meaning our V Foundation staff, our donors, our board, and everybody who's been in this fight to help us find a cure for cancer, will participate through all this celebration this year, and especially our event right here in Raleigh.
Yeah, and I think we also have a performance by one of your teammates, right?
Thurl Bailey is going to come and do a little performance for us. And Thurl has many talents, as you'll find out. And happy that he was available and had the opportunity to come and entertain for us. But in honor of the team, I think we can really capitalize and really help in people in this fight. And we all going to be affected by cancer. We're going to have a friend, a relative, you name it. We all are going to be affected. So we're all in this together. And I think this is a way to celebrate what we've done and what we're going to do in the next 30 years and bring in a new generation of team members to the V Foundation and in this fight for cancer, because I think it's just very, very important that we continue to make more progress to help our researchers to one day find a cure.
Yeah. And I guess that leads to my next question in why people should come to the gala. Obviously, everybody has been affected by cancer in some way, but it's really a celebration.
Absolutely a celebration that technology and research has really upgraded itself for people to survive and thrive with cancer now. It's not a death sentence like it used to be. Who would have known if we had all the access to all this technology and research that maybe Coach Valvano would have lived a little longer. Maybe we would have saved his life. And that's what his quest was. It may not save his life, but may save others. And I think it has. And now that his daughter is diagnosed with cancer and she's surviving, Jamie, and then Robin Roberts, who had a rare form of cancer, who fought through, and now she's surviving. But there's many other stories that we don't get to hear about that are really in this fight. And we want to continue to help them. And the best way to help them is to get involved, to give your time and support with your finances, and continue supporting not just our events, but anything that can help families and people fight this dreaded disease.
Yeah, I mean, I put up a stat recently. I believe that the cancer death rate has gone down 33% since 1993, which is a huge accomplishment. We still have a long way to go, but it's working, I think, since 1993. So it's good to see the success.
Absolutely working. And what Jim's vision was in starting this organization, raising awareness, right, of the possibilities of cancer, make sure people getting checked out, maybe people looking at their family history, raising more money, getting more young investigators involved, and more research. So it was the whole process of helping the fight in cancer. That was Jim's vision. And it has helped tremendously. And our organization, along with others, have also stepped up as well. So that was Coach Valvano's intention, to get more attention on the fight of cancer. And I think we've done that. And I think the future is bright that we one day it's even better. Hopefully it goes down even more than 33%, which is great. We wanted to go down 50 and 70 and one day find a cure where nobody has to fight cancer.
Yeah, our goal is to be out of business for sure, and to move on to another fight. So we'd love to cure cancer. Obviously, that's the end goal. Well, let's go back a little bit to the beginning. You were one of our original board members at the V Foundation. So what was it like to have been a part of the V from the beginning? And what did it mean to you to be asked by Jim to be on the board?
This appointment was a calling, not a job. Valvano appointed very few of us in the beginning on a yellow legal pad and gave us instructions. And this is how we want to go forward to help fight this dreaded disease. And I didn't want to never disappoint him. I didn't want to disappoint him as a coach. I didn't want to disappoint him when I worked for him as an assistant coach. And when I got on this V Foundation board, I want to be dedicated to do the work that he asked us to do. And so I feel honored and humbled to be a part of this organization. Like I said before, we have a tremendous team, and kudos to our volunteers, our staff, our V Foundation staff, our board, all of our donors. Our donors who has transformed on our team to become investors because they continue to come back and support us. We're not interested. We love people to donate, but we want people to get involved in this fight to help families, to help people get a cure, to get help in this fight. And that's what's special about our organization. We want you to join our team for life.
Yeah, and so why do you think people, I mean, I have seen that too, like our donors are really loyal. There are sponsors as well. What do you think attracts our donors and our sponsors to sticking with us? Like, what is unique?
It's personal, right? Dick Vitale has went in the fight with cancer. He's had cancer 3 times. It's personal to him. He always says families with children should not go through a bout of cancer. So that's why I'm fighting so hard. Most of it's personal for us. My coach is diagnosed with cancer. I had family members, a sister-in-law that was diagnosed with cancer. My uncle. It's personal. We take it personal. So we want to inject all the energy, finances, and the passion into helping these folks. So we take it personal. Like I said in the beginning, it's more than a job or an appointment for us. It's a calling. It's a call to action. And I think that's what separates our organization over a lot of others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. I totally agree. And I can see it in the passion and the faces of everybody I work with and I'm around at events. It's really powerful. which is another reason to come to the gala, I think, because we can all see each other in person again and reignite that passion that we all have.
Well, yes, and that fight will, today there's going to be many that's going to be diagnosed with cancer. And as we go through our daily lives, a lot of things that happen. But one thing for sure, somebody's going to be diagnosed with cancer. It may be a friend of yours, it may be a friend of a friend. And so this is, in a way to get involved and to reset your focus and some priorities that maybe you can help in many ways. We can help in many ways by supporting not just this event, but we hopefully this 30th anniversary will show people what we've done, what we're going to do, and what the possibilities of the future are. And so we want the newer generation to get involved. We want to create more team members to get involved in this fight for cancer. So I'm excited we're doing it right here in Raleigh, where this organization started, right here in the Triangle, in the Raleigh area. And so we're excited to celebrate all the wonderful accomplishments. But as Coach Valvano would say, great work, guys, but we got to continue to do more.
Yeah. And speaking of Raleigh and bringing young people into the fold, I know that you were starting guard on the 1983 championship basketball team. So for people that don't know the history as well as others, can you tell us just a little bit about being a member of that team that year and what the camaraderie was like and just the magic of that year?
Magic is the key word, right? We had an amazing run back in '83. The first thing I would tell them that can't tell you all about that run right now, but go watch 30 for 30, Survive in Advance, the first 2-hour film of the 30 for 30 series, an Emmy award-winning film. If you watch that, that will tell you the story. Because Jim, when he first arrived back here in 1980 and came to NC State, he wanted to win the national championship. And in his third year, we were on our way having a really good season. And I hurt my foot and was out for several games in my senior year. Nobody thought I would ever come back and play. And I came back and played later. And we went on this amazing 10-game run. Started in Reynolds Coliseum playing Wake Forest, going into the ACC tournament in Atlanta and beating the great Ralph Sampson and in the championship game in the ACC tournament. Nobody thought we was going to be in the NCAA. And then going on a 6-game run in the West Coast, beating Pepperdine, beating UNLV, Utah, beating Ralph Sampson again in Western Regionals finals. Beat Georgia in the semifinals, and then beating a great Houston team, which they have 2 individuals that's in the top 75 of the history of basketball, Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. Who would imagine that this little group of guys that nobody knows about would be 2 incredible players like that to win the national championship? And what's amazing about that, people are still talking about that championship 40 years later. That's what makes it incredible.
Yeah, that is amazing. So can you tell us quickly where Survive in Advance came from? Did that come from directly from Coach Jim?
Well, actually, the real story was that I was coaching at Fordham University, and I got fired in 2010. And everybody thinks when you get fired, something the worst thing that ever happened to you, right? So I called up my buddy, Jonathan Hawk, and I said, I think I got a film that I want to present to ESPN. It was about the '83 team. And it took us 2.5 years. We finally produced it, launched in 2013, and it just became a hit. And that's how Survive in Advance, the story about the '83 came about. Jonathan Hawk and my team, we put it together. with a group, a lot of great interviews and 2-hour film. It was incredible. And we had no idea how it was going to come out. And we had a lot of fun doing it. And we just was real. We didn't fabricate anything. We just told a story just the way it happened. And it turned out great. And now it's the most watched sports documentary in the world. And people just enjoy it. It's not just a story about sports. It's a life story. It's a story about Jim and his fight with cancer. It's a story about how this incredible team, how Jim led this incredible team to a championship that nobody thought we would even be close to winning. And I get people every day that email me, call me every day of my life since it happened to talk about that 83 championship team. So go to ESPN, go to YouTube, go to ESPN Plus. You can watch the 30 for 30, Survive in Advance, one of the best documentaries and stories and sports stories that you ever heard in your life. And I also heard, here's an interesting stat. Out of the history of all the sporting events in the world, the NC State National Championship was ranked 26 of all time. 26 of all time. That's pretty good. In the history of the world, 26 all time. I think that was special.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is special. I'm sure you felt like you were kind of cementing that legacy with that film. So what a great thing that you did. I mean, all of you, whoever was involved, because that just tells the story.
Well, if you're just telling a story, sometimes you don't know. Everybody has a story, right? And if you just tell the story, all of us got an interesting journey, whether people like it or not. We have a journey, and it was interesting. We shared our journey. Just happened. The world happened to see it. It was on TV, right? That's the beauty of sports. And but it was just, I can't even. I'm humbled and just honored to be a part of something so special like that. And now to continue that in Jim's legacy with the V Foundation makes it even more special.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you tell me about the Cardiac Pack and how that came about?
The Cardiac Pack name came about because every game was at the last midnight hour. And people thought we were giving them a heart attack because they didn't know the outcome of the game. They didn't know whether or not we was going to win. So they called us the Cardiac Pack because we were giving people heart attacks because they didn't know that State fans are so passionate. People like, what in the world? What's going to happen next? Every game was a close game. And we just adopted this Cardiac Pack, just like Houston adopted its Five Slammer Jammer, because those guys dumped the ball everywhere. So we got the Cardiac Pack, which would fit us just right.
I love that. Yeah, and just seeing Coach V's energy is almost in a frenzy. It went right along with that.
Yeah, his personality is infectious. I've met people over the years that thought, and I wish today people would have got a chance to actually meet him because he can light up a room. His personality, cared about people. He was funny. He was witty. He just was full of life. And his personality was contagious. I never seen the man have a bad day. I mean, he just had so much enthusiasm about life and people. And he certainly has left a lot with me and in this organization. So we're just going to continue with his legacy and continue to help people fight cancer.
So how is he as a coach? I mean, obviously we know his personality in general, but what made him really extra motivational for you?
I think he was, I always loved to just put my coaches in this perspective. I said, Jim was transparent. He was truthful. Therefore, we could trust him. And I think that he made us, we knew that he cared about us. And therefore, we didn't want to disappoint him. He was honest about everything in terms of how he felt. and also including us. A lot of coaches think that they're the coach, you the player, you do what I tell you to do. I think Jim wanted us to be a part of all the process. He would always say, what do you guys think? What do you feel? What should we do in the game now? I think he always gave us ownership of being part of the team, especially the seniors. And I just love his coach. He was a player's coach. And I just think that he really valued our input and information that we fed back to him. And it really helped us coach. So he was an excellent game coach, but what people underestimate the most is that he was a tremendous motivator. He can motivate you to play. And people don't understand this in every sector of life. Your leader has to care about you and has to serve and appreciate you. And if you do, you're knocked down a wall for him. And I think that's what Jim gave us the most, that we knew he cared. We knew he paid attention. And he gave us ownership in that team, and we appreciate him for that.
I love that. As a coach, I coach girls soccer. I love hearing like ways, to motivate players, because it's hard when they're feeling down on themselves or, having a bad game, get in that headspace. But like building that foundation and that relationship and trust before they come back and play for you is key for sure.
When his first press conference, when he came in, he said, never forget this. He said, I'm going to look at you as a person and as a student, as a player. And if you ever want to come to my office and discuss anything, I will drop what I'm doing. I took him up on that. We had many conversations in the office about politics, about education, about things. We never talk sports. That's when you know a coach really cares about you. The coaches now only want to talk about sports. They don't talk about what's going on in your personal life. So those kids, they have other things going on in their life. And one thing he always talked about is that you don't bring your personal stuff to practice, and you don't take your practice and bring your personal stuff. You don't take your personal stuff and go to the classroom. You have to keep all that separate. And those conversations were very important and good for a coach and a player relationship. And that's the thing we don't talk about today. Relationships, intentional relationship, taking the extra time and pulling somebody aside and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Nobody does that anymore. You got to spend time. We would go bowling sometimes. You got to spend time, just go to lunch and just hang out. Nobody takes the time to build relationships anymore. Everything is quick. Let's go on that phone. Let's go on the internet. Let's TikTok. Let's tweet. But nobody's taking the time to build personal relationship. And that's what Jim was really good about.
Yeah. And so you ended up coaching for quite a while. So did you kind of use a lot of Jim's style or obviously you developed your own style, but what kind of things did you take with you into that world?
Unshaken confidence, attitude. You can control your attitude. I pass that on to my players. The importance of education, the 99%. That 99% of you that won't play professionals, but you can be successful in life. Those things were important to me. The individual was important to me. I didn't fear not being successful in the sports arena. I had more fear of not making sure I was taking care of the total person. I want to make sure they become better men and women if they work for me. And that they become good students and they leave the institution not just trained, but educated. That's what's important to me. That's the difference, I think, back then until now. I think every kid now thinks that they're going to go to the NFL and NBA, which is far from the truth. And I don't think we tell our kids the truth. So I adopt that from Jim. I always told the guys the truth and what the overall picture is. Listen, this is going to be a 4-year journey. We want to maximize this journey. We want to win a championship. But at the end of the day, when you leave this institution in my program, you'll become a better person. You'll leave here educated with a degree, and you're going to be successful whatever you choose in life, and it doesn't have to be in sport. That was my goal. And that's what I adopted from all my coaches. You got to remember, my high school coach was the first high school coach in the Hall of Fame. Morgan Wooten was the famous coach. And then now my college coach, Jim Valvano, is now in the Naismith Hall of Fame. So my pedigree in terms of basketball is pretty good. I won in a national championship in high school, won in a national championship in college. You're going to get all this information in my book later on this year.
I didn't know you had a book coming out.
My book comes out, and I'm going to give you the title of my book right now. From the Playground to the White House. Growing up in Washington, D.C., a young man's journey that started from his parents that migrated from the South to the North, and where he ends up today.
I love that.
So it's going to be a tremendous story about the people who helped me during this journey. Everybody likes to write books about what they've done, but my book is going to be write all the people in my life who's helped me do some of the wonderful things that I had the opportunity to accomplish. So stay tuned for the bestseller coming out later this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Exciting. Yeah, so happy for you. I'm sure that we'll be very excited to get. Are you gonna send me a signed copy?
Yep. I want to sell. My goal is to sell 10,000 copies, and I want to donate a significant amount of that money back to the V Foundation. So I got some work to do. I want to help my book fight cancer as well.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, excited to see that for sure. Yeah, going back to sports and youth sports and college sports and just having the opportunity, I think, a lot of kids aren't doing sports. They're online, right? So like having that opportunity to grow as a person, I think is a big part of sports and perseverance and, all that you learn is so important to give. So the fact that you had like these two amazing coaches, I mean, how lucky. Obviously you work for it, but
lucky and fortunate. And what you learn through sports, the tangibles, the intangibles, what you learn. The sports is sports. I don't care. You're coaching your kids, your young kids, you're coaching professionally. What you learn about leadership and service and teamwork, persevering, all the things you learn in the process of being a part of a team is vital. You can always use that in anything that you do. So sports is important in that respect, that they can learn how to work with others. They can learn how everything doesn't work out. You got to keep going. You got to keep being successful. You learn about your attitude. You learn about sharing. These are the essential things that you need to do to be successful in life. That's what sports can teach you. So I don't ever underestimate any level of coaching. It's very, very important. You do not realize how you can impact people once you coach a bunch of kids or coach at any level. You never that one person, you're going to impact somebody you have no idea that you're going to impact. And I can go back to Harry Carter, my Boys Club coach. I can go back to my coach, Mr. Brown, who threw me off the 80-pound team because I used profanity. That taught me a lesson and suspended me for the year. That's the kind of things that are going to be in my book. All the people like Dr. Hyman and Dr. Witherspoon while I was at NC State who encouraged me to say, I'm smart, I need to graduate. So there were so many people that 5 minutes, a slogan, a pat on the back, you never know when you're going to impact somebody. Never know. So don't underestimate when you're helping kids or you're talking to a group of kids. You never know. You can save that one kid, or you can inspire that one kid. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, and so true, so true. And I know that even Jim's passed away, but I mean, he's still hugely influential. And of course, the speech that he gave. I mean, I've talked to people that that are in the midst of their battle with cancer that watch that speech every day, and how it inspires. So it's amazing how one person can inspire so many. And as a coach, obviously, you have a great opportunity to do that. So obviously, 40 years ago, you guys won the championship. So what does that mean to you in your life, or how has that win and that, obviously you said that people talk to you about it all the time. So how has that influenced where you are now?
I think it was a very special time in my life. Obviously, it was important. And it's a part of me, but not all of me. And I think that we've had the ability to use that experience and that journey and that success to parlay to help others. And I think that's been a part of the V Foundation, right? So we use that great journey, and Coach Valvano used that great journey to help others in the world of cancer. I attend 197 events a year. I'm more than just NC State, the V Foundation. I help so many different organizations. I talk to so many kids. I'm a motivational speaker. You use that journey that's touched so many people to help others. Essentially, Jim is showing everybody your legacy at the end of the day while you're on this earth is to help people, right? And that's what he's done. And that's what he's continued to do through us. Is how we use that experience and to help others. And that's what I love about that journey 40 years ago, that if it puts a smile on somebody's face, I'm happy to talk to them. I talk to many people and always take time out to talk to folks regardless of where they are, when they stop me. I always take time out, talk to people, because I think it's important to give people time. 5 or 10 minutes, and it's not going to hurt you in your life. And that's what's special about that journey.
Yeah. So if Jim were here today, what do you think he would think of the first 30 years of the V Foundation and the accomplishments that we've made?
Oh, I know exactly what he'd say. He would be so excited. He would be so passionate. Man, we have made tremendous progress. Wow, cancer, 33% has gone down 33%. That is great. Now, let's put the foot on the gas and take it to the next level. Let's continue to help more people. We can do better. He's always a coach. He's going to challenge you. We can do better, and we're going to do better in his name and his legacy. So he would be very excited, very proud of us. But as we know in coaching, you got to continue to win, and we're going to win. We're going to find victory over cancer. We're going to keep fighting and adding to our team. And we're going to continue to fight. And then one day, we're going to find a cure.
That's right. That's right. And that's a perfect segue. We ask everybody at the end of these interviews this question, and it's personal to everybody. What does victory over cancer mean to you?
Victory over cancer is to me, it means that we have to continue to support and fight for our families and for our friends that's been diagnosed with this dreaded disease. We must continue to support them. We must continue to get involved. We must continue to financially support this organization in any way that we can. And every little bit counts. So don't underestimate that your support is not going to go to the right people to the right investigators. We think that everybody counts in our fight for cancer. So come join us in this fight for cancer, because like I said, one day we're going to find victory over cancer.
Yeah, come join us. Come join us in our fight for cancer. Come join us on the 30th anniversary, and that's coming up June 3rd. So if anybody wants to see more information about that, or if you want to register, get tickets, it's 30thgala.v.org, and that's 30th gala.v.org. And thank you so much for your time today, Dereck. And I guess we'll see you on June 3rd.
You will see me on June 3rd at the JP Arena at Reynolds Coliseum. 30th anniversary of the V Foundation. Come on.
We're ready. Come on down. Thank you so much.
Okay.